Welcome to the Executive Innovation Show podcast, where we bring you real executive conversations with industry game changers and thought leaders. We ask the questions you're thinking, what you're scared to ask, and we make your brain hurt afterward. With your host, Carrie Chitsey, co-founder and CEO of One Touch Video Chat, live video interviews, and the nonprofit Humans Helping Humans.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Executive Innovation Show. We have an amazing podcast today. We're going to be talking all things Gen Z, and I've got some awesome Gen Zs with me who are going to give me all their amazing opinions today from local here in Austin, Anderson High School. This is going to be a three-part segment. In our first segment today, we're going to be talking about what are their communication preferences and what are they looking for in future college and employers. So guys, welcome to the show.
Hi.
So it's semi-early morning, but I'm going to make everybody caffeinated and wake up here today. So I first want to just go around. Everybody wants to know about Gen Zs, and we know you're on your phone. We know you're on social media all the time. You can't live without it. But when did everybody first get their cell phone? Sam, let's start with you.
Well, I got mine in 5th grade.
5th grade.
So I could walk to school.
Okay. So you was that 11? About 11, right?
Yeah, 10 or 11.
Okay. Maya, when did you get yours?
I got my first phone in 6th grade, and because I begged my mom for one.
Nice.
I got my first phone in 6th grade as well.
6th grade?
I also got my first phone in 6th grade, just because that's when my parents thought I was ready.
Yeah.
I got my first little flip phone in 5th grade. Yeah.
Nice. So as most of the industry reports say, Gen Zs are getting their first phones at 11 or 12, so that's pretty in line. So tell me a little bit, you guys obviously probably have a lot of apps on your phone for all your social media and stuff like that, but beyond your like day-to-day social media, how do you like to engage with, whether it's a bank, it's an employer, you're ordering food from a restaurant or whatever? Would you rather just go to their site, or do you download apps just for kind of that one-time use? What's your preference? Is it more mobile web or apps?
My preference is apps, specifically like food delivery apps. I probably have like 5. And then as far as connecting with like my bank, I have my mobile app with that, and I check it, and it's Face ID, so it's a lot easier to log into than on the computer.
Right. And go ahead.
I usually use the websites, but I don't order food for delivery. I usually order it for pickup.
Yep. And so when you're talking about the mobile apps, those are your examples were something that you use frequently, right? Mm-hmm. So what about something you didn't use infrequently? Would you rather go to, if you're just going to go to a website, let's say one time, would you rather download that app for that one-time use or just do it right off their mobile website?
Their website.
I always say their website.
Yeah. I always go to their website.
Yeah.
If it's one time, it's like the website probably is easier to use as well.
Yeah.
Just like an app. So.
And do you guys worry about, with your parents and data plans and all this stuff, do you worry about like, hey, do I have enough space for this app or things like that? Is there things that you guys worry about?
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually personally, I don't have that worry at all. I'm not a big app person. I kind of have just what I need, and that's it. I use pretty much the internet for everything else.
Got it. And so it's well known that your generation, you guys kind of got your first phone when FaceTime kind of first came out and that video calling. And your demographic is known to be kind of that video, I want to see the person. Do you guys, let's go around the table and do you video with your friends more, or do you actually call or text? Which of the three do you use more frequently when you're chatting with friends, parents, relatives, whatever it may be?
I tend to text more just because it's easier.
Okay.
I don't even have the FaceTime app on my phone. I refuse to make phone calls unless it's important, and I just text for everything.
Okay.
I'll probably call the most just because it's the quickest way for me to get an answer from somebody. I don't like text. You can leave it with like a maybe or I don't know. I just like to call them and be like, "Are you coming or not? Are we doing this or not?"
Right.
I'd say I use text the most frequently.
Okay.
I think like if it's with my parents or friends, it's like texting, but like you said, when it's like you're waiting for a text, it's easier to just make a call.
Got it. And so when you guys are, talking to your friends or having, conversations in that standpoint, would you rather, maybe it's a more longer conversation or whatever, does that human kind of connection matter to you guys to like be able to see them on the other side? If it's not something quick, like, hey, are you going to be here in 5 minutes or whatever, you're having a conversation, maybe your friend's going through something, or maybe you're, having a conversation with a grandparent or parent. Is that better on the video side so you can kind of see their reactions and emotions, or over a phone call?
I think it's all about like accessibility. Like oftentimes we maybe like can't see our friends, or like we don't have that many opportunities to interact with them face to face. So things like FaceTime are really good for those kind of conversations, because you can still kind of see them and see their reactions to things and see their emotions, whereas you don't have to be like in person
right there in front of them.
Yeah, make a point of like going to see them or going out somewhere.
A lot of my friends will ask me for help on homework, so it's easier to FaceTime for that, because it's just I can show them how I do work and how this all.
There you go. Video homework help.
But I think more than often, at least for me, when it comes to like a phone call or a video call, it usually comes down to like, do I have enough battery in my phone?
Yeah.
Like that. And more than often, I'm not home when I call.
Right.
It's like,
okay.
yeah.
So I want to transition and talk about, you guys are in high school, some are juniors, some are seniors. You're kind of in that. Either I know I'm going to college, my parents are making me figure out if I want to go to college, if I want to go into workforce, all that kind of stuff. There's been a lot of statistics that Gen Zs are going to be the largest demographic to not go to college and go straight into workforce. Are you guys considering that? Who's made a decision, hey, I'm going to college, and who's kind of, I'm not going to college, maybe I'm going into the workforce? Where are you guys on that? And are you seeing that with your friends, that you're kind of debating one or the other?
I'm seeing, so I'm gonna go to college, but I know a lot of people, I think they say they want to take gap years and work for a while, whether that has to do with like money and their family situation to pay for college. But personally, I think like having a degree from a college is like very important nowadays. Like graduating high school is obviously a good achievement. It's good to do that. But I think like to kind of excel more in the workforce and like through like promotion and stuff, having a degree from college is very important. So
I think it would depend on the profession that you want to go into. Like, there are some things that you probably don't need a degree for, but it would be more appealing if you have it.
Right.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to get a PhD in psychology. One, because I really love psychology, and two, because the employment rate for someone with a PhD is insanely low. Like, I will probably never go without a job.
Right. Got it.
That's actually a surprising statistic, like that more people are saying they won't go to college, because I feel like it's so, like within our school especially, like it's really pressed to go to college.
Right.
Go visit your college, and we have a college and career center, which we're lucky to have. A lot of schools don't have that. But I feel like in our personal culture, we hear a lot about college, but also we hear about successful people who went to trade school or dropped out of college. So I think we kind of get a lot of mixed messages.
Right. And is one of those factors, as you hear your friends kind of going through these decisions and counselors in school, do you think a lot of that has to do with seeing all the student debt from millennials that has you guys worried about the college versus not college? Do you think that's driving some of that thinking of it more than other generations?
Definitely.
Like the first thing that anybody who wants to go to college will look at is if they can afford it at the time. I do think like in Austin we have like ACC, which is very helpful for people who can't like just go to a college and pay for that.
Yeah.
But I think
knock out some of your
money,
basics.
Money, like paying for college, I think is probably one of the first things we'll look at.
Yeah. Good. So for those of you that have jobs right now, maybe part-time, or maybe you worked in the summer and so forth, where do you tend to look for a job? Is it a job board? Do you find a local company that you really kind of like that brand or whatnot? Where do you search at your age or your friends, wherever it may be, when you're looking for a job?
I point out signs to my dad.
So you find some local place that from that perspective. Okay. Are you guys using job boards to kind of at your age to see who's hiring and things like that?
I mean, yeah, I've used I've used some of them but simple Google search. Even Google has their own job search now.
Yeah.
So, and that also connects you to other websites. But I think if you're at home, doing that is really convenient. But also if you're out and about, seeing signs is also really helpful.
Okay.
I've personally I've looked at LinkedIn and Indeed and other places where there are job postings, even Facebook. But there's this huge contradiction that lies there because they say that high school kids need internship experience, they need job experience. Whereas if you look at every posting, they say you need a college degree or you at least need a GED, which there's this huge contradiction. Exactly. So I think it's definitely hard to find work that isn't just within your neighborhood, like babysitting or dog sitting or something like that. Because, that's the only real place where I've found that people will just willingly hire teenagers.
Right. So when you think about that future employer, post-college, post-trade school, that you really think about, this would be my ideal first company to work for, I'm going to read some things I want you to think about, what would be most personally important to you. Culture, kind of the work environment, the company values, what they stand for, the pay. The third one would be really that career path advancement and the opportunity you might have. And then the last one's really the training that you're able to get. And if they're going to kind of develop the skills, let's just go around and Dorian, we'll start with you. What would be most important to you from an employer standpoint?
From an employer standpoint, I think the most important thing for me, or in general, after getting out of college, would be the pay and benefits. And I hear a lot of people when choosing their majors, especially seniors, they're like, well, what's the right out of college payment? Because we're all thinking about, are we going to be able to pay off our debt? Yeah. How long is it going to take? Is this job or profession going to be worth it? And then are there opportunities out there that would make this, worth our while?
Okay.
Personally, I would look for an employer with really good training and just opportunity for advancement, because I think it'd be better to be starting off making a low wage and being able to progress rather than being stagnant, with a higher wage.
Gotcha.
I'd probably say pay and then the potential for promotion would be the most important to me. I feel with those promotions come more benefits and stuff. So, but I feel just starting at your first real job that could lead to your career, the pay so that you can live while working that job, and then obviously being able to be advance further in that company and that career is very important.
Great.
For me, it's the wage, the benefits, and the culture. I want to be able to be in a very comfortable environment. I want to get paid a decent living wage, and I want to be able to have health benefits and mental health benefits and pet insurance and all that.
Cool.
Yeah, I think wage and benefits are very important.
Good. That's contradicting to, and that's why we're having this, because, a lot of, millennials are more culture one, pay second, which may be why everybody's in student debt. But so it's good to hear. Well, that concludes our part one of our Gen Z's All Things Communication Preferences in HR. Make sure you subscribe to get part 2 next week. We're going to be talking Gen Z's everything banking, and then part 3 healthcare. That concludes today's episode of the Executive Innovation Show. Make sure you subscribe to get your podcast delivered every Tuesday.
This podcast has come to a close. To hear more from the Executive Innovation Show podcast, subscribe, submit questions, and share the love. Follow us on social. We're everywhere.